Today, I'm here with a new video idea that I haven't really seen before. It's probably a thing, but I've just never seen it before, and I think it's a really cool idea. I had a lot of fun making it. Today, I'm going to be predicting the champion and the top four contenders, aka the top five in every division, in the next 3 to 5 years. Okay, I'll be a bit lenient with myself because obviously, precursor, this is impossible to predict, dude. It's literally impossible for me to nail this. Okay, so I don't want people in the comments being like, bruh, in 5 years coming and being like, actually you were wrong about number four. He actually is ranked number seven. Okay, so shut the fuck up. Okay, this is just I just felt like doing this. All right, so I'm gonna go heaviest to lightest, predicting the champion and the top four contenders, as you can see on my screen, in every division. Starting off in the heavyweight division, I think it's gonna look very similar to what it does now, except it's not gonna have Jones. It's not gonna have Miocic. Who else is at the top? I think other than that, it's going to be just a bit of a shuffling around and kind of like a revolving door. I think all of these guys that I have on the screen, Cyril Gahn, Sergey Spivak, Sergey Pavlovich, Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blades, will all probably end up being heavyweight champions at some point. Now, am I more confident in some than others? Yes. I think Tom Aspinall, 110%, in 3 to 5 years, will be the heavyweight champion and kind of running this division. I think he's just got the fight IQ, he's got the skills everywhere to be the champion, and again, his fight IQ is really what's going to make the difference for him versus some of these heavyweights. I think Curtis Blades is probably the next heavyweight champion after Jones and Miocic are done. I can just see Curtis having a pound for pound headshot dead moment next when he fights for the belt, whoever he fights. Even if he loses to Pavlovich, I still think Blades is going to find a way to be champion, bro. I really do. I can just see him having a Leon Edwards moment, except he's just in the cage like pound headshot dead. Yeah, I don't know. I just see it. So I think Garm will still be floating around because he doesn't take a lot of damage. But yeah, I could be. Obviously, I think there's going to be younger guys here. But yeah, that's my top four at heavyweight. Pretty boring to start off with it, but it gets much better. Okay, light heavyweight division. Actually, no, fuck that. I'm gonna go to middleweight division. I'll explain that in 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna go to the middleweight division. Okay, I think Hamzat's gonna be champ, bruh. Okay, I think Bo Nickel and Hamzat are gonna be the two guys kind of running this division at middleweight. Yeah, I think Marvin Vettori will still be floating around. He's a tough guy. He's skillful. He's got not skillful. I mean, he's okay, but he's not particularly good anywhere. But I would say he's good enough everywhere to where he can beat a lot of these guys that'll be coming up. And I think he'll be kind of like the Derek Brunson of the division. He'll still be there. He's quite young. I think he'll stay in the sport longer than Izzy. Maybe stay in the sport a bit longer than Whitaker, but definitely longer than Pereira and Izzy. So I think Brendan Allen will still be there. He's quite young as well. Shara Bullet, I threw him in because I can see him doing really well in the UFC somehow. So I just threw Shara Bullet into my top four in the next 3 to 5 years. And I think Bo Nickel and Hamzat will be the two guys at the top of this division for the next couple years to come. Trading the belt or maybe building up to fight each other for the belt. But yeah, I think Hamzat's going to be middleweight champion in the next 3 to 5 years, okay? And then in the light heavyweight division, maybe this is controversial. This one's going to be the first kind of, whoa. I think Hamzat's going to be double champ, bro. I'm getting double champ vibes from Hamzat, bro. So yeah, let me just explain this, dude. I think Hamzat moves up next year, or this year. Maybe he struggles early on, then he settles in, then 2024, I think he becomes middleweight champ. Then 2025, 2026, I can see him defending the belt maybe once or twice. And then I think he moves up and fights for the light heavyweight title. And I can see him beating some of these guys if he's really big. And some of these guys that are not as skillful at light heavyweight, I think Hamzat has decent skills to beat some of these guys. And he's only going to improve. He's going to be in his physical fucking prime by then. So I think Ryan Spann will still be floating around just because he's got such a fluky style. I can see him beating a lot of guys that he maybe shouldn't beat. He is a bit chinny, but I think he's got enough power and enough submission skills where he can stay around. He could go on a nice streak. I could see him going on like an Anthony Smith type run in the next couple of years where he just, Ryan Spann's getting a title shot. Okay, you know what I mean? I can see that happening. I also think I'm quite confident in this. In the next 3 to 5 years, Robert Whitaker will move up to light heavyweight. He will be ranked top 5. So I put him at number 2. I could see him coming in, finding a way to beat someone like a Krylov or a Yuri Prohaska by decision, close decision, and then getting ready to fight for the belt soon. So maybe rematching Chimaev after he beat him the first time or something like that. Something like that, I see. I think Yuri Prohaska will still be there. I think he's going to get knocked out by Jamahal Hill, but I think otherwise he's going to finish a lot of people at light heavyweight. He's going to have some decent longevity. And yeah, he's going to be developing his skills. I think he'll become more of a grappler or more of a technician as he gets older, but I think Yuri Prohaska will still be around in that division. And Magomed Ankalaev is another guy that I could see either hanging around at light heavyweight or maybe he moves up to heavyweight. But yeah, I think this is generally what I think light heavyweight's going to look like in the next couple of years. So moving on now to the welterweight division, I had a lot of fun doing this one. Personally, my top favorite divisions, welterweight's number one. I love welterweight. I have a very soft spot for welterweight. Um, and this is my top five at welterweight. I think Shavkat's going to be champion for a while, dude. I think in the next 2 or 3 years he's going to fight for the belt. He's going to win the belt. Usman's going to leave. Chimaev's not going to be there. Leon Edwards is getting older. I think he's going to leave the sport sooner than people realize. Colby's going to be gone. Who else, man? There's a lot of guys at welterweight. Burns, Masvidal, Wonderboy. All these guys are going to clear out. That's going to leave a lot of spots. So I think Shavkat is going to be quite a dominant welterweight champion. He's young, undefeated. Okay, I think Jack Della Maddalena is going to be one of those guys at welterweight. He's got the power. He's got the defense. He's got the skills. I think he's going to be right up there as a contender in the welterweight division. I also think Ian Gary will end up quite high in this division with enough time, with enough development, if he gets the right matchups. I see him getting a Sean O'Malley type path, dude, and I think he's going to rise to the occasion. I know a lot of people don't like Ian Gary, and I think a lot of people underrate Ian Gary because they don't like him. But realistically, I think he's very, very skillful for a welterweight, and I think yes, he doesn't have the power. We need to see his grappling. But if he can stuff the takedowns, if he can grapple quite well, he's a big dude. He's got a very good gas tank, very underrated gas tank, I would say. Good pressure, amazing striking for a welterweight. I can definitely see him doing well against some of these guys, especially these older guys. I could see him beating some older guys on their way out and getting top rankings. You know what I mean? I think Michael Morales is going to be a very high up welterweight soon. And I also see Gabriel Bonfim being quite high soon. But again, there's probably fighters I never even heard of that we're going to be talking about in 5 years as like, oh, this guy's going to be the champ now. So, right now, if I'm looking at the division where I see the future heading, I think these guys are the future of this division. In the next 3 to 5 years, this will what the top five will kind of look like, okay? Lightweight division. Now, this one's a fucking banger, bro. I'm pretty happy with this lightweight division I've cooked up, bro. Okay? Islam's going to retire in the next 3 fights that he has, I think. Volkanovski is going to retire soon, and I think he will move up before he retires, but then I think he'll retire in the next 3 to 5 years. So I don't think he'll be in these rankings. Poirier will be gone. McGregor will be gone. Chandler will be gone. Gaethje will be gone. Yeah? Fiziev's quite old now. RDA will be gone. Gamrot's old. This division is going to be really, really different really, really soon, and I think not a lot of people are talking about that. Okay? And for my lightweight division, I think you know who the champ is going to be. Arman Sarukian, okay. I think Ismail Bonfim is going to be a killer in this division. He just strikes me as the type that's going to be a staple in this top 5. I think AJ McKee is going to come over to the UFC soon, and I can see him doing well in the UFC. I can see him getting good matchups, especially guys on their way out and ending up top 5. I think AJ McKee is going to make his way into the UFC and be a big deal. I think Jalen Turner is only getting better. He's already a quite high-level lightweight, and I can see him improving and going on a good streak and ending up as like, holy shit, we need to give this guy a title shot. I think Ignacio Bahamondes is a brutal finisher. He's a young guy with heaps of time to improve as well. I can definitely see him being ranked. I should mention other guys that I think will be ranked in these divisions. I got less ideas with this area. I think the lower weight classes, I have more people that I think, yeah, they'll be ranked. At lightweight, though, I mean, you never know. I think a lot of imports will come in. A lot of new guys will come in and kind of move up the division. But right now, I'm pretty confident that these guys will be at the top of lightweight, around that top 5 or in that top 5 in the next 3 to 5 years. Maybe AJ McKee is like a crazy pick, but I genuinely believe that Arman Sarukian is going to be champion in the next 3 to 5 years. I think Ishmael Bonfim is going to be ranked very, very soon. He's going to be top of the chain quite soon. Jalen Turner is going to hit his stride and take over. I think Bahamondes is going to be ranked soon. Top 4, maybe that's a reach, but this is my opinion, brother. Lightweight division, we smash these guys. Okay, featherweight division. Like I said, Volk's going to be gone. Max Holloway's going to be gone soon. Brian Ortega should probably be gone soon, hopefully, you know what I mean? Yair Rodriguez, Chan Sung Jung, Josh Emmett for sure is going to be out of there. I do think Yair Rodriguez will still be around the UFC. He'll still be ranked. I do think that obviously there's guys like Giga Chikadze who could stick around. Maybe Brian Ortega sticks around a little bit. Maybe he moves up to lightweight. I could see him doing like okay if that was the case. Um, Obviously, I still think guys like Charles Oliveira will be around the sport, still be ranked, maybe a bit lower, but I think those guys will still be ranked a bit at lightweight. But at featherweight, this is about the top five, bruh. And I'm here, okay? Ilya Taporia will be champion in the next 3 to 5 years, okay? I've got Paul Hughes here from Cage Warriors. He's a great featherweight prospect. I do think he'll be in the UFC sooner rather than later, and I think he's got all the makings of a very important featherweight. I think Movsar Evloev and Arnold Allen are probably my best bets here. I think there's top three of Ilya, Movsar, Arnold Allen being the head guys of this featherweight division in the next 3 to 5 years is a pretty solid shout, a pretty good prediction, I would say. I can't really see these guys not being around the title picture in the next 3 to 5 years, or have all been champions in the next 3 to 5 years. I think Ilya Taporia is going to be a next type generational type. This guy has got to be in the conversation. Where does he rank all time type fighter? The way he's looking right now, at least. You know, Movsar Evloev, I trust him to get to the top. Arnold Allen, I think if he figures some stuff out, he can do quite well. He's already a pretty good fighter and he's improving, and I think he's hitting his prime. So I think in the next 2 to 3 years he can kind of stay around that level. I think Francis Marshall's a pretty good featherweight as well. I wouldn't bet on him being top five, but I figured, you know what, he's a young guy, he's got power. He's in featherweight. You know, it's not necessarily the deepest division, and I think Paul Hughes is a fun shout that I could definitely see happening if things go the right way. So that's my featherweight division in the next 5 years. Bantamweight, bro. There's going to be so many good guys, dude. Off the top of my head, I think Jonathan Martinez will still be ranked. I think... Holy shit, dude. Cheeto could still be ranked, maybe. Cheeto could still be an old guy ranked. Peter Yan could still be around the UFC if he stays around. You know, there's a lot of guys that I think could stay around those rankings. But my top five, I think Umar's going to be champion sooner rather than later. In the next 3 to 5 years, I think Umar will be champion. I think Song Yadong is going to improve. He's already like a pretty good fighter, and he's quite young, and he's still improving. So I think it's only a matter of time before he hits a stride and ends up as like a top bantamweight. I think Javid Basharat will be quite highly ranked soon. He seems a very cerebral fighter. He's got the skills to win everywhere on the feet, on the ground. You know, he's got good finishing ability. He doesn't let people shake him up, you know what I mean? So I think Javid Basharat has all the makings of a top contender. I think Sean O'Malley's still going to be there. I really do. I think Sean O'Malley's going to be a champion at some point in the UFC bantamweight division. Maybe he moves up to featherweight. I could see that happening. But right now, I'm not super sure of that. He hasn't made any indication that he wants to move up at any point, so I can't really predict that much. Like, at least Robert Whittaker, he's mentioned light heavyweight before. Hamzat Chimaev, he's mentioned being a triple champ before. That implies light heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I'm going off. Adrian Yanez, he's a young guy. He's really powerful. He's really good. I think a lot of people are kind of, I don't know, maybe because he's so, like, I feel like he's quite popular that some people are kind of getting sick of him. But I think the hype is real, dude. I think he's going to beat Rob Font, and I think he's going to move up the division. And I think over the next 3 to 5 years, as he settles in, he improves his game, he can become a bit of a staple at bantamweight. Do I see him becoming a champion in the next couple years? Not really. I just think there's better guys there, and I think it's going to be a bit of a revolving door of like Cheeto, Sean O'Malley, Corey Sandhagen, Peter Yan, Marab maybe if Aljo leaves. And then the time of the Javid Basharats and the Adrian Yanez of the division and the Song Yadongs will be there. And Umar Nurmagomedov will get the championship and kind of be the dominant champ of this division. But very, very bright future for this division, okay? Last one, Flyweight division, okay? I had to really look through and think about who I think is going to be champion. And I think it's a pretty obvious answer who's going to be the next kind of the young guy who I think is going to be champion in the future, who I feel is quite a safer bet. And that's Tatsuro Taira. I think Tatsuro Taira will be champion. I do think Brandon Moreno will still be floating around. This order is not necessarily like set in stone. I do think Brandon Moreno will still be around. I do think Kai Kara France will still be quite highly ranked, just because they're so good and they're quite young. They don't take a lot of damage in their fights. Well, Moreno does a little bit, but not necessarily getting knocked. They're not at heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? They're not taking a lot of damage in these fights. And flyweight, you do find a lot of older fighters are still there. So I think Moreno and Kai Kara France have a decent chance to still be ranked. I wouldn't count on many other people that are currently ranked right now. Manel Kape would probably still be there. Even then, I wouldn't count on that. Muhammad Makayev, I think, will end up ranked quite highly. Even though right now he seems like a bit of a hype train, I do think he'll get his shit together, and I think it's only a matter of time before he hits a good stride and becomes quite a serious contender at flyweight. I also think Hyun Sung Park, he came off the road to UFC, I believe. He's a pretty good prospect as well, young guy. So I can definitely see him hitting a stride in the future as well. It's all about the age with these guys. As you can see in these lists, it's all about the age. But this is my prediction, okay? So let me know down below. What do you think of my predictions? What divisions are you most excited about that I've given you here? What are your predictions as well, if I already asked that? But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos this week and in the future. I love doing these prediction type videos. And if you have any ideas, let me know down below or message me on Instagram at Bedtime MMA. I do respond to those. I do get video ideas from you guys. Big shout outs to everybody that messages me, bro. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video, boys. Goodbye.